dropshipping still realistic in 2025?
I was able to build it up to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 per month.
They have this fear of, maybe it's too saturated and stuff like this.
Build up that momentum and get to your first 1K, 10K.
Do the right research, don't gamble your time away.
The first stop is always ZIK Analytics. My name is Sam, born and raised in Southeast London, single mum, the same old story that you've probably heard a million times.
Let's get started. Hello everyone, it's Nahar Geva here from ZIK Analytics, and today we are going to address one of the toughest questions people are asking today: what the truth about dropshipping in 2025? And for this, I have a special guest, Success with Sam. Sam, it's an industry expert that helped thousands of people to start and grow their dropshipping business. He has over 450,000 subscribers in his channel, and today he is going to be here with us answering some of the toughest questions that will address the truth about dropshipping in 2025. So, welcome Sam, great to have you here. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me onto your platform. Hopefully today, from the conversation that we're going to have, all of your audience, all of the viewers are going to be able to get the insights that they need when it comes to building up a profitable, successful dropshipping business in 2025.
So, if you would like to add anything to the introduction before we move in addressing those tough questions, please, the stage is yours.
Yeah, so thank you so much to everyone that's watching right now, everyone that's tuning in from all around the world. If you don't know me, my name is Sam. I run the Success with Sam YouTube channel. I'm a regular guy, born and raised in Southeast London, grew up with my single mum and my siblings. Things wasn't always easy, but of course my mum did the best that she could. But it was during these years that I understood the importance of money, being able to do something where you can kind of take control of your finances, because that's basically going to allow you to take control of your life. And it was during university where I now decided that I was going to, start an online business. And things didn't really take off straight away. I still had to go work a 9-to-5 job. But when I was working this 9-to-5 job, that's when things completely blew up with certain strategies that I took. And from there, I was able to quit that 9-to-5 job, just live a life of pure freedom, travel all around the world. And it all started off with me making the decision to start an e-com store. And yeah, my goal is to, share as much knowledge on how other people can also achieve financial freedom as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, but I'm sure that those of you that are able to stick through this interview are going to be able to get all the information they need when it comes to being pointed in the right direction.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for sharing. Let's get started. Everyone is here today to learn about the truth of dropshipping in 2025. And the first question is basically starting from the top to the bottom. Let's, answer the biggest questions everyone asks when they got started. And maybe you can also share it from your personal experience. How long did it take before you started seeing real results online?
Yeah, so my story is a little bit of an interesting one because I didn't start off with dropshipping straight away. So just to kind of give the audience a background on my journey, when I was in university studying accounting and finance, it was during this time that I didn't really know what I was going to do. So what I did, and I was advised to do by my girlfriend at the time, she told me, why don't I sell my used items online? So that's exactly what I did. I listed those items for sale, and to my surprise, I was able to make around £1,000 in profit. So because I made £1,000 from selling these used items, I now thought, let me find a supplier that can supply me consistently with different products. I went onto Alibaba. Cut long story short, I found a supplier that was able to source me with products in bulk. And then I did that for around 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I was able to, build it up to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 per month in the early days. And it was only until after that I slowly transitioned, maybe 3 years after that, to me now doing a portion of my sales using the dropshipping method. So that is my background. And in terms of answering your question, how long did it take me to get my first sale? So when I listed those items, used items, first, it took me maybe a week for me to get my first sale. When I started selling items in bulk from Alibaba, it took me 2 weeks for me to get my first sale. And when I started doing dropshipping, it took me again, maybe a week for me to get my first official dropshipping sale.
All right. So based off of what you say, what people should expect when they start, the results they should expect when they start with dropshipping, in 2025 is within couple of days to a week, maybe 2 weeks, already seeing their first sale, right?
Yeah, I'd say, if a beginner is looking to start right now in 2025, it's definitely going to take maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, but it all depends on the strategy that you're going to use as a beginner. If you're going to go into it blindly trying to do something that you've never done before, the learning curve is going to be a lot more steep. But if you're going to go into it with a proven strategy, a method that works, a method that's been working for the past year, 2 years, 3 years, then the ability to get your first sale, maybe within the first, 5 days, 4 days after you've set up your store, after you've listed your product, it's definitely possible. So again, it all depends on the strategy that you use as a beginner in 2025. But that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video.
And okay, we discussed the first sale, but what if I would like you to tell us here, not just about the first sales, but like scale, like the whole range from first sales, breaking even until you become profitable. How would you put it on a scale?
Yeah. So again, it all comes down to the method that you're using, right? So if you're gonna go down the organic traffic route, then sales are gonna be a lot slower when it comes to scaling. If you're gonna go down the paid route, then of course it might be a little bit more quicker for you to build up the sales to where you're trying to get to. But the question is a lot more nuanced than that because it all depends on which platform the person's going to be selling on. If they're going to be listing products on eBay, then things might be slow to begin with, but because you're selling on a marketplace, once you get that traction, you could easily start scaling within, a week after you get your first sale. You just add more products, increase your selling limit, and then you can grow from there. If it's Shopify, again, you got a lot more control, which is great, but it's now down to you on how you're going to control that traffic. So with Shopify, depending on the strategy you use, it could take a couple weeks, 3 weeks for you to build up that momentum and get to your first 1K, 10K. I would say all beginners out there watching should give themselves at least a good 2 months for them to scale to their first 10K as long as they're doing everything right.
And when I move on to the next question, the next question also can help a lot of people to clear the doubts if to get started or not, because they have this fear of, maybe it's too saturated and stuff like this. In your opinion, dropshipping still realistic in 2025, or has the market become too saturated?
Yeah, so in my personal opinion, and based on the research I've done and the students that I'm helping, dropshipping itself can't really become saturated because dropshipping, all it is a business model, a fulfillment method. So it's not something that can be saturated. It's the method that you use that can maybe be saturated. Even in some cases, people believe that products can be saturated. And I don't really think that's true because there's always a new angle that you can take with the products that you're selling. So to answer the question, is dropshipping still profitable in 2025? I would say yes. And is it saturated? No. Again, all depends on the way that you do it. And to the people watching that want to get into dropshipping, my advice is to not go into it trying to build some sort of a store where you're going to be selling generic products, products from the pet category, the sports and fitness category. What you need to do is build a store around one niche. And most importantly, you need to brand that store around that niche and make sure that every single product that you're selling within that store comes from that niche, because that is going to allow all of your visitors to perceive you as an expert. And once you're able to psychologically convince your visitors on your website that you're an expert, the likelihood of you getting sales is a lot more higher. So again, dropshipping itself isn't really saturated. You need to approach it with the right mindset, and that's when you're going to be able to do things right.
I absolutely agree. And I also think that in the end, we are human beings. There are all sort of us, some people that able to achieve, I don't know, like 30% of their potential, 50% of the potential, 70% of the potential, or the potential of the business that they're doing. So as long as you are doing good job, you are working hard, you're putting the extra hours, then there is always place for good business owners, good drop shippers to become profitable, to turn it into a business.
Definitely.
Cool. Thank you so much. These are very, very important answers that will help a lot of people. Moving to the next one, and this is maybe one of the practical ones because, okay, we addressed the first point to get the perspective of how long it takes until you see result. And then the point of a doubt that a lot of people have is regarding the fear of or they don't know if it's still realistically possible becoming building a dropshipping business and becoming successful. And now it's more practical. Let's go into more details. If someone wanted to start dropshipping, what would you tell them? What steps should they focus on? What should they avoid? And in general, how to start dropshipping in 2025?
Okay, so it's an interesting question because this is something that I get, all the time from my students. What's the magic formula to selling or building up a dropshipping business? And the funny thing is, the strategy for me hasn't changed over the years. It's been the same strategy that's worked for me over the past few years, which is mainly focusing on the data. If you're able to look at proven data and you're able to see that a product is selling, making a certain amount of money, you can see the search data as well, then that is going to be the formula to success, right? So my advice to beginners is always to focus on looking at what other dropshippers are doing, seeing if they're successful with a particular product, seeing how much money they're making from that product, and also making sure that it's a product that you can source yourself. If you're able to meet those characteristics or criteria as a complete beginner, then your chances of being successful are going to be a lot higher.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like the data is super important. It's a lot of people miss it. They think they're just gonna go pick products and everything is gonna be all right. Trying to save on here, on there, and then they're just wasting their time. Absolutely agree with you. And regarding the methods, like the source of traffic, the selling platform, all those kind of things, what would you recommend, or in general, what you are doing, what you are teaching in your training? Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so just to kind of take it back once again, because I like to use my story as, an example for people to learn from. So when I first got into e-commerce, for probably many, many weeks, many months, I was trying to be successful. I was, trying to think of what my friends and family wanted to buy, and I was trying to sell those items. But it was only until I was able to get my hands on a product research software that allowed me to see, how much money people were actually making. That was the moment where everything just blew up, right? So at the time, I was using a tool called Terapeak. Terapeak is what helped me see exactly what other people was selling and the success that they were having and what I could replicate. But Terapeak isn't available no more. It's not the best tool to use anymore, in my opinion. So what I use nowadays is ZIK Analytics. And my audience will already know this because I've been, using it for the past 4 or 5 years now. And yeah, I've seen a lot of success with ZIK Analytics, all of the different data points, being able to see the revenue, the products that are doing well, the different sellers, that's what's really allowed me and my students to be successful. I would say in the recent times, and I believe that it's going to be the same thing over the next year, 2 years, 3 years.
Cool, cool. So yeah, so in the end, use tools for data, use tools for management, do the right research, don't gamble your time away. I always trying to tell it to people, don't gamble your time away. Lots of people thinking, yeah, okay, drop shipping, I don't need to put much money in advance and everything. And then, they trying like with 50% of their time, with 10% of the resources, and then they just waste 6 months for nothing. So great. Thank you for this information. Thank you for the answer. I'm going to move to the next one. Again, it's kind of connected to what you say, but maybe now you can be a little bit more detailed when it comes to the product research part of it. I'm sure people will be very excited to hear your insights on it. So my question is like this. How was your product research process evolved? What's your approach to finding winning products today versus when you started? Bottom line, how to find winning products.
Okay, so how to find a winning product, right? So I've already kind of touched on it, but I would say when I'm teaching my students and what I do with my own businesses is that I look at a certain framework of the product, right? So before I even do my product research, it all starts off with, the characteristics of a product. It needs to be small and lightweight. It can't be bulky and heavy because if it is, it's going to be, somewhat of a headache when it comes to shipping it to and from the supplier to the customer. It can't be overly priced. Of course, it all depends on your budget, but if you're a beginner, I would say the price point between $20 up to $150, $200. What else? It can't be a risky product to sell. These are the different things that I look out for because you want to avoid chargebacks. But when it comes to the actual research side of things now, again, first stop that I go into, and I'm not just saying it because I'm here with you, but the first stop is always ZIK Analytics. So that's the first place that I go onto. I see exactly, what is doing well on the platform that I want to sell on. If it's Shopify that I want to sell on, I use the Shopify marketplace. If it's eBay, I use the eBay marketplace. And from there, I just look at, the different data points. Once again, I like to make sure that the item is bringing in minimum $20,000 minimum per month on average. And then from there, I also go on to Google Trends, make sure that it's an item that is doing well on Google Trends. People are actively searching for it. And the reason for that is because the best items to sell, in my opinion, are highly searched for items. Items that people are actively searching for, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year. I try to stay away from seasonal items. Of course, it all depends on what type of store you want to build, but my product research all stems around looking for a highly searched for product that people are searching for consistently throughout the year. And if I'm able to find an evergreen product that meets all those criteria, that's when I know that I found a winning item.
This is a very, very unique and very strong point that a lot of other industry experts and dropshippers are missing, and is the power of high intent search product. Driving traffic from search, it's undervalued when it comes to how people talk about it, but actually, I also myself believe in this, and also I see results, and not just from e-commerce, but in promoting anything, that the traffic that come from search traffic is converting much better. It's much more ROI positive. And I would, from everything you say, which I really believe everything you say here is amazing, the amazing tips. I think this is one of the hidden gems in this video today, guys, that you're watching, that you should take to yourself and learn, and reach out to Sam and see how you can learn from him, because not a lot of people talking about it, but this is where the real big money is lying. I'm going to move to the next question. You've been creating great content around AI, one of the biggest advocates of AI in the dropshipping niche. And how are you using AI tools in your dropshipping business today? What are your top two, three favorite AI tools right now, and what do you use them for? Bottom line, what AI tools helps with dropshipping today in 2025?
Yeah, so I use many different AI tools. Some tools are not necessarily AI tools, but they have AI features. But just to answer the question, I would say one of the main ones that I use and everyone probably uses is ChatGPT. So, a lot of people I've noticed use ChatGPT when it comes to regular day, excuse me, when it comes to regular day-to-day things. I mainly log into ChatGPT every day to help me with my dropshipping businesses in one way, shape, or form, right? Whether it's with research, whether it is even, the basis or the foundation of product research. But I'd say one of the main ways that I'm using ChatGPT right now, and I advise beginners to as well, is when it comes to helping with organic traffic. So the way that that works is that another AI tool that I use is called make.com. So what I've been doing recently is combining ChatGPT with make.com when it comes to automating Shopify blog articles. And there's a certain strategy that you can use when it comes to getting those articles ranked on Google. But not only that, you can now use those articles as a way for you to bring traffic to your site, even with short form content. So this brings me on to a third AI tool, which is InVideo AI. What I'm doing with InVideo AI is producing short form videos. I use that as a way to educate people about the niche of my stores. From there, I send that traffic from the Instagram, TikTok short form platforms to the blog articles for more information. And within those AI written blog articles, I'm now able to promote and advertise the products that I'm selling on my store. So I'd say it's a combination of ChatGPT, InVideo AI, make.com as a way to build up organic traffic.
Wow, this is such a valuable information. Man, wow. Really good stuff. I'm hearing you and I'm already thinking in my mind how I'm going to use these methods in my different business activities. This is amazing. And this is the power of AI. It's like you are like one person who is doing job of five, and you're able to do the amount of content of 10 content producer together at the same time. Plus, again, guys, I don't know if you realized how valuable what Sam just said, because again, is the focus on organic traffic. It's maybe undervalued and people don't talk about it, but this is where real growth, long-term branding, and positive ROI is coming from. High intent searches, organic traffic. Thank you so much for sharing this information, Sam. It's inspiring. It was amazing interview. I don't have more questions. I think we clarified here everything regarding the truth about dropshipping in 2025, from how long it takes to see results. You answer the questions if dropshipping is realistic in 2025. You answer the questions on how to get started with dropshipping in 2025. Amazing tips about product research and finding winning products. And now with AI, well, now I understand why you are one of the leaders in AI dropshipping. Thank you so much. Before we end, maybe you can share with us what's coming next for you, any projects, goals, changes we should watch out for, and also some tips maybe you can share with our viewers before we ending this interview.
Yeah, so what's coming next? I'd say, the same thing I've been doing really, but my main focus for the rest of 2025, 2026 is to just provide free education. I'm looking to put out as much free education as possible on the YouTube channel. I've got, free Shopify courses that don't require any payment that, I'm building up. I'm always improving as well. So my main goal is to just help as many people as possible when it comes to getting started, especially for people with low budgets, because a lot of my viewers, a lot of the people that come across my content don't have a lot of money. So I'm always trying to figure out ways to help them get into the e-commerce space where they don't need money for a course and they don't need money when it comes to running paid ads. So my whole goal right now is to, promote organic content. Of course, paid content is great, but promote organic content, courses that don't need any payment. And I would say that's the main thing that I'm focused on right now.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. A lot of value. People sometimes don't understand how valuable all this free education and the support that people are sharing. Thank you so much for doing it. People need it. It's, we are serving here much bigger goal, and you're playing a big role in it. It's amazing. I'm very appreciated for the work, for contributing for the dropshipping community, for helping people really, like making this first step, breaking this 9 to 5 life cycles, and becoming their own bosses. Do you have anything else you would like to add about, maybe one thing that you want to say to the people out there is that will help them, break this cycle and create their own life?
Yes. So the one thing that I want to end this interview off with is two words, which is focus and action, right? If you've got laser focus and you're able to take massive action, then nothing can really stop you, right? So on my e-commerce journey, there were so many times I wanted to give up. Shiny object syndrome. I wanted to bounce around from different side hustle to different side hustle. But if you're able to remain focused, you're able to, take massive action every single day, wake up every day and do the most that you can. Before you know it, your entire life is going to change.
Thank you so much for this, Sam. Guys, this was Success with Sam. He revealed the truth about dropshipping in 2025. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day, everyone. See you next time.